The story opens with Charly, a striking and successful woman who leads a prominent fashion company in the United States. Ever since her husband's passing 2 years ago, Charly has drawn media attention, not just for her business success, but also for her private life. Though she's been in a few relationships since becoming a widow, none of them have lasted. The press is eager to uncover who she's currently dating, but Charly keeps things private, stating that her focus is solely on her rapidly growing business. After finishing up a media interview, Charly receives a call from her close friend and business partner, Laura. Laura brings up Godfrey, a fashion designer within the company, and says he shows great promise. But Charly, being the majority shareholder, doesn't see it that way. She questions his talent and believes he's not a good fit. Laura disagrees and reminds her that Godfrey is not only a co-founder, but also has a voice in how the company is run. Later, when Charly returns to the office, she learns that Godfrey had entered her private workspace and accessed her computer without permission. Furious, she fires him on the spot. Laura is shocked and angry that Charly made such a big decision without discussing it with her. In fact, this isn't the first time. Charly has been making important choices on her own for the past year, and Laura is beginning to feel more and more sidelined. During a company meeting, Charly once again announces the launch date for a new product line, without consulting anyone. This sparks a serious argument between her and Laura. Frustrated by Charly's repeated disregard for collaboration, Laura calls her out for being self-centered and unwilling to work as part of a team. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, 2 bodyguards, Vargas and Johnny, are seen protecting their employer. But when the boss crosses a line by harassing a woman, Johnny steps in and physically intervenes. As a result of his actions, Johnny loses his job. A few days later, Charly receives a strange package at her home. Inside is a doll and a threatening note. While Charly brushes it off, Laura is deeply worried and urges her to bring the issue before the company's board. Concerned for a friend's safety, Laura suggests hiring a bodyguard, but Charly firmly declines. She doesn't want to live in fear or feel controlled. Still, Laura tries to convince her, assuring that the measure would only be temporary until the authorities resolve the issue. The very next morning, as Charly prepares to head out, she spots a suspicious-looking man in her yard. Alarmed, she quickly contacts the police, fearing he may be planting something dangerous near her car. In panic, she sprays him in the face with pepper spray, unaware that the man is actually Johnny, the new bodyguard Laura hired to protect her. Johnny introduces himself and explains that he was hired by Laura to ensure Charly's safety. Although Charly is initially doubtful, Johnny's explanation eventually convinces her that he's telling the truth. Still upset, Charly immediately calls Laura to confront her about arranging security without her knowledge. But since Laura has already signed a contract with Johnny, Charly reluctantly agrees to keep him, at least on trial basis for the next 2 days. Once the confusion settles, both Johnny and Charly apologize. Johnny admits he should have made contact before starting the job. As they leave together, Charly makes it clear that Johnny is not his driver and asks him to sit in the passenger seat. During the ride, Charly teasingly asks Johnny if he's the kind of bodyguard who would take a bullet for his boss. Understanding this is a test, Johnny calmly explains that he approaches his work with full dedication and precision. Soon, they arrive at a hospital. Charly tells Johnny to wait in the car, but Johnny, feeling a strong sense of responsibility, follows her anyway. Inside, he sees Charly talking to a doctor about the cost of treatment for a young cancer patient. This makes Johnny wonder if Charly might be suffering from an illness herself. He admits he followed her because he didn't want to risk any harm coming to her, especially with Laura and the board involved. Johnny opens up about losing his own mother to leukemia and says hospitals make him uneasy. Hoping Charly would share more, he gently asks, but Charly simply smiles, assures him that she's healthy, and prefers not to go into details. Respecting her boundaries, Johnny remains focused on his duties and escorts Charly home safely. At the end of the day, Johnny and Charly share a lighthearted moment, exchanging a quick joke before parting ways. However, Johnny's curiosity about Charly lingers. Later, he quietly returns to the hospital, hoping to learn more about Charly's visit. But the doctor, respecting patient privacy, refuses to share any details. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Godfrey receives a mysterious message from an anonymous sender. The person claims to be the one behind the threatening notes sent to Charly, and now wants Godfrey to team up with him. The next day at work, an accident lightens the mood when Charly spills coffee on Johnny, soaking his clothes. Feeling responsible, Charly asks Johnny to wait in the restroom while he fetches a fresh change of clothes. But when he returns and sees Johnny shirtless, he's startled. Johnny's muscular build and a noticeable scar on his right leg catches attention. Intrigued by the scar, Charly begins looking into Johnny's past. She finds out that Johnny once served in the Navy and had heroically saved 3 women during a bombing incident. The scar on his leg, she realizes, is a mark from that very moment of bravery. Shortly after, Charly receives a chilling phone call from an unknown man threatening to kill her. Disturbed by the call, she and her team investigate and discover it was made from an internal company phone. Strangely, none of the employees recall seeing anything unusual. Johnny advises her to report the incident to the police so they can examine the security footage. Laura, deeply concerned for Charly's safety, urges her to stay home for a few days and assigns Johnny to remain by her side for protection. On the way back, Johnny cautiously asks Charly if she suspects anyone from the company might hold a personal grudge. He initially points fingers at Godfrey, the designer recently let go, but Charly quickly dismisses that idea, saying Godfrey may be emotional, but he's not dangerous. When Johnny brings up the possibility of her ex-husband being involved, Charly assures him their divorce ended on good terms. As they talk, Johnny gently questions whether Charly's hesitation in pursuing love again stems from her past heartbreak. The question stings. Charly, clearly hurt, tells him to stop the car. In an impulsive moment, she kisses Johnny to prove she's not afraid of love. But Johnny doesn't respond the way she expected. He pulls back, suggesting she's only using the kiss to avoid confronting her real feelings. His words cut deep, and Charly grows quiet. Realizing his mistake, Johnny apologizes immediately. Just then, a car speeds toward Charly in an attempted hit, and Johnny throws himself forward, saving her life for the very last second. Once they arrive home, Johnny decides to stay the night to ensure Charly's safety. During their quiet time together, he brings up a hospital visit again, explaining that he knows she isn't suffering from any illness. Now feeling more comfortable and trusting him, Charly finally shares the truth. She's been secretly covering the medical expenses of a former employee's child, a young boy fighting bone cancer. Even though the company had no formal responsibility, Charly felt deeply for the family and chose to support them out of compassion and empathy. Her honesty moves Johnny, and the room fills with a quiet sense of understanding between them. Their conversation gradually returns to the kiss they had shared earlier. This time, Johnny opens up as well. He admits to feeling lonely, too, and without saying much more, he gently leans in and kisses Charly. Unlike before, the kiss is mutual, filled with emotion, vulnerability, and longing. Meanwhile, in a shocking twist, it's revealed that Laura was the one behind the attempted hit-and-run. She had manipulated Godfrey into attacking Charly. But when Godfrey fails and Johnny retaliates, he begins to question everything. Realizing he's in too deep, Godfrey tries to back out, saying he doesn't want to be a criminal. But Laura, anticipating his betrayal, kills him in cold blood using a gun identical to Johnny's, crafting a plan to frame him should the police begin to investigate. The following day, Charly and Johnny arrive at the company only to be greeted by Laura, who appears visibly shaken. She informs them that Godfrey has been murdered. As the news plays on a nearby television, Charly recalls a car that nearly ran her over the night before. Moments later, police officers enter the company with a search warrant in hand. They see Johnny's firearm and begin questioning both of them regarding Godfrey's death. Despite Johnny and Charly both truthfully stating that they were together at Charly's house that night, the lack of witnesses makes their alibi difficult to prove. Things take a darker turn when forensic evidence suggests the bullet found at the crime scene might have come from Johnny's gun. As if that weren't enough, the police raise the possibility that Charly herself may have orchestrated the murder. Realizing the investigation is being manipulated, Johnny senses that someone is trying to frame them. In a split-second decision, he attacks the officers and escapes the building with Charly. Although Charly believes in proving their innocence legally, Johnny is convinced the system won't give them a fair chance. Meanwhile, Laura adds fuel to the fire by telling the media that Charly was responsible for Godfrey's firing, painting her as a vengeful employer. Suspicious of Lara's intentions, Johnny begins to suspect she's involved. With no other option, he reaches out to Vargas, a former Navy comrade. At first, Vargas refuses to help, citing the media coverage against them. But when Charly offers him a large sum of money and he receives a threatening call from a creditor, Vargas reconsiders. However, instead of staying loyal, Vargas reaches out to Lara. During their meeting, he demands $200,000 to reveal Charly's location. Lara, driven by greed and vengeance, agrees, on the condition that Vargas also eliminates both Johnny and Charly. Unaware of Vargas' betrayal, Johnny and Charly spend the night growing closer, sharing warmth, emotions, and the comfort of rekindled trust. The next morning, Johnny heads out to meet another old friend, but his secrecy raises doubts in Charly's mind. Suspicious and hurt, Charly confronts him, and their argument intensifies. Meanwhile, Vargas prepares to strike, but Johnny notices just in time and stops the attack. Realizing they're being hunted, Johnny tells Charly to get the car while he holds Vargas off. During their escape, Charly begins to suspect that Lara may be the one pulling the strings. In a twist, Charly keeps quiet about noticing Vargas tailing them, and instead lures him into a specific house with a hidden agenda. Inside the house, secretly owned by Lara, Charly traps Johnny and leaves him restrained, secretly recording the confrontation with Vargas. When Vargas enters, Charly tries to ambush him but fails. Thinking quickly, Charly offers to pay double what Lara offered, trying to draw him into a conversation. Their tense exchange is recorded as evidence. However, Vargas overpowers Charly and prepares to execute them. That's when Charly reveals the truth. The house belongs to Lara, and she's been set up. Soon after, Lara arrives and, realizing the risk, instructs Vargas to take them to an open field. There, she confesses everything: her jealousy, her thirst for power, and her plan to eliminate Charly, the majority shareholder. As Johnny and Charly dig their own graves, Charly apologizes and reveals her final move. She had already recorded everything, planning to expose both Vargas and Lara to the authorities. Just moments before the police arrive, Charly boldly plays the recording aloud, forcing Lara to hear her own confession. Panic sets in, and a physical struggle breaks out between them over the gun. But just in time, the police storm in and arrest her on the spot. During their investigation, it's confirmed that the bullet found in Godfrey's body didn't match Johnny's gun. And with Charly's audio recording submitted as key evidence, Lara is officially charged for her crimes and taken into custody. Soon after, Charly is informed that the company's board has decided to remove Johnny from his role as personal bodyguard. But instead of being disheartened, Charly feels relieved, because now, for the first time, she can hire Johnny on his own terms, and more importantly, they can explore the new chapter of their relationship together, without fear, without secrets, just love and trust. So friends, what would you do if you found yourself caught in a web of betrayal and danger, yet still discovered love in the most unexpected place? Could you trust again after all the deception? Or would you, like Charly, take the risk and start a new chapter? Reflect on these questions and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the bell icon so you never miss any upcoming video. See you in the next one. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe,